All right, as I highlighted in my opening remarks, many have noted the, shall we say, suspicious timing of yesterday's third indictment of former President Trump. You may recall that the news of the first indictment came just one day after Hunter Biden's de facto laptop ownership admission back in March. Then the second indictment was released a day after news broke in June of an FBI document alleging a $5 million criminal bribery scheme between then Vice President Joe Biden and a foreign national. And now we have this one, yesterday's indictment, coming just one day after the House Oversight Committee's closed-door interview with Hunter Biden's former business partner, Devon Archer. So, yeah, is it all just coincidence? Or is it maybe an example of a weaponized Department of Justice? Well, with me now to discuss this and more is Congressman Mark Alford. He serves on 3 House committees, including the Committee on Small Business. He represents the 4th Congressional District of Missouri. Congressman Alford, always great to have you on Washington Watch.
Thank you, Jody, so much. I tell you what, P.T. Barnum said a sucker is born every minute. And you've got to be a sucker if you believe that there's not something to do with the timing of these latest indictments and what has been going on with the investigation of Hunter Biden and the Hunter Biden crime family.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I do want to get into the timing of all this here in just a moment. But before we get there, let me just get your overall take on the charges themselves against former President Trump.
Well, look, this is another attempt at this two-tier justice system, this weaponized justice system that unfortunately we have in the American public right now. And the sad thing about it is the American people have lost trust. They've lost trust in their government. They've lost trust in the media. They've lost trust in the justice system. That is a recipe for disaster. So these latest indictments are direct candidate who puts up a fight after they have supposedly lost an election? Are you going to indict Stacey Abrams, Al Gore, Mrs. Clinton? How many people are you going to try to put in prison because they say that they really won the election when officials say that they lost the election?
Yeah, those were excellent points, Congressman. And hey, I saw a tweet or an X, whatever it is nowadays, a tweet I'll call it, for Senator Marco Rubio, who pointed out that apparently it's now a crime to make statements challenging elections, just like you were referring to, as many Democrats have done in the past. But he went on and he said something to the effect that should we now expect indictments of Democratic politicians who falsely claimed the Russia hoax, that Russia hacked the 2016 elections? Are you anticipating any indictments along those lines?
No. To put quite simply, that is not going to happen because we know that the Democrat justice system is not going to go after their own. Look, they did not want Donald Trump in power in 2015 when he was running to be president. They did not want him in power the second time around because they knew that he was going to go in there and clean house. He was beholden to no one, and he was going to right the ship. They are scared to death that he is going to win this next election. He is still ahead in the polls. Every time they try to tie him down, like the 6-inch people tried to tie Gulliver down in the Travels of Gulliver with thread, and they were able to do that because there were thousands of these threads around him. That is the only way that they are going to bring this president down, this former president, and hold him down. And they know that, and they are scared to death that he's going to break those bonds, be president again, and then he's really going to work to clean out the house.
Well, let's go back. You mentioned it a little while ago about the timing of all of this. You know, I look at this and just literally shake my head saying, do they really think we're going to buy all this, that this is all just coincidence? Here we have 3 indictments, all of them coming strategically after serious allegations against the Biden family and so forth. Give me your take on what are you hearing in D.C. on the Hill? What is your take on the timing of all this?
Well, I think the important thing for your viewers to understand is this is a slow process. The Democrats, especially on this Hunter Biden investigation, have been saying, well, you've been investigating it for 3 years. Well, no, we haven't. We haven't had the subpoena power that we do now to get people into those chairs to really compel them to tell the truth about what they know about the Biden crime family and how much the big guy is on the take from communist China, Ukraine, and Romania. And so these investigations are going forward. Information is starting to come out for the Democrats to say, hey, there's no evidence out there. And people in the other media are saying, hey, there's no evidence, nothing to look at. There is something to look at. And as these investigations continue and more evidence comes to light, I fully believe that eventually we will have an impeachment inquiry. And that's going to put the, I hope, the focus of the American people back on rightfully where it belongs, on how this current president is really compromised and is a compromise to our national security.
Absolutely, and that compromise is frightening, as what we're seeing not only in our military, but our respect around the globe and what's happening on our southern border, so many different ways. If I can, let me switch gears real quickly with you, and let's talk about the Fitch ratings. Sure. One of the big three credit rating agencies downgraded America's debt rating from AAA to AA+. And of course, the Biden administration is claiming that how much they strongly disagree with these ratings. But it's a serious thing that we're watching unfold. Give me your input on this.
Well, let's let Joe Biden take credit for it. This is Bidenomics, right? He should be bragging about this. He has destroyed our economy. Before he took office, he, with a wink and a nod, welcomed 7 million illegal aliens into our country. Created not diversity, but instability in our economy. He demonized fossil fuels. He tried to push EVs down our throats and ended up putting the target on the backs of the American people, got inflation to a 40-year high, which is a tax on everyone. Yes, we fought the deficit battle because we did not want another $4 trillion added to our $32 trillion worth of debt. The package that came back was this $4 trillion added, and it's for 2 years. And so what's going to happen in 2 years? Are they going to come back and want us to raise the debt ceiling again? Yes, there is instability in our economy right now, but that is squarely on the backs of the Biden family and the Biden administration for creating instability in our government and in our nation.
Well, and it really is a very disturbing reality that's unfolding. We'll be having former Congressman Dave Bratt on to discuss this a little bit further in detail. But while you talk about Bidenomics, it's remarkable to me that the Biden administration continues to tout Bidenomics. They seem to think that things have only been going up and getting better and better since Biden took office. Maybe they're just hopeful that Americans will forget the reality of what we're experiencing. But what do you anticipate could yet unfold going forward if this administration continues to go in the direction they're currently going?
Look, the American people aren't dumb. I know people in the 4th Congressional District have really sacrificed a lot over the last 2 years, especially a year and a half. The price of food, fertilizer, and fuel have all skyrocketed. If you look at the average price of things from when Trump was in office to now, it's up 16% on average. Yeah, gasoline has come down a bit, but was so the American people are not stupid. They know that they cannot afford to get out of the grocery store half the time. They know they can't still afford to fill up their trucks, and it's going to get worse. I think the price of gasoline is going to go up. The Biden administration has taken a lot of money out of our strategic oil supply, which we need in cases of national emergency or world crisis. We've got to replenish those stocks. We're not doing it right now. And so as we move into the late summer, early fall months, I think you're going to see gas prices go back up. And I think that's going to put the hurt on the average day American. And they might wake up, those who aren't already awake, to the damage that Biden is doing to our economy.
Well, I certainly hope you're correct on that, for the American people to wake up. But it's frightful to consider that if we keep going down this road, things will only get worse. Thank you, Congressman Mark Alford. Always great to see you, and thank you for your insight. Thanks for joining us on Washington Watch.